Hello and welcome to Cousins Gymnasium, home of the Tufts Jumbos. They are 10-2 and they face NESCAC rival Colby College. The Mules coming in also at 10-2 on the year. Colby picking up their first conference loss of the year last night to rival Bates. Tufts, on the other hand, with a massive victory, 102-69 on this same court over Bowdoin. And they were led by sophomore Vincent Pace, who put up 25 points in that one. Stephen Haladinha put in 14, which brought his average into double figures on the year. And Tariq Smith hit 3 threes on the night to add 13 for the Jumbos. And the Jumbos now 1-0 in conference play and on quite the 7-game win streak now. Colby looking to get back into things. Colby are led by Chris Hudnut, the senior center, 6'8", out of Chevy Chase, Maryland. Last year he missed the last 7 games of the season, but prior to that he was putting up nearly 20 and 10 a night. Didn't make all NESCAC, probably because of the injury at the end of the year, but he's a senior with a chip on his shoulder. He's averaging nearly 16 and 7 boards so far early in the season. Early in the year he had a performance putting up 38 points against Curry College, so we'll see what he'll do. But he's going up against the leading shot blocker in the NESCAC and one of the highest in D3, in Tom Pileski, the junior center for Tufts. And we're about to get the national anthem and the starting lineups, but certainly an intriguing matchup. Colby starting 5 seniors and Tufts with a blowout win in their first NESCAC game, so make sure you watch this one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cousins Gym for this afternoon's NESCAC basketball game between the Mules of Colby College and your Tufts University Jumbos. Before we begin, we ask you to please rise, remove your hats to honor America and those who serve it at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
And we'll get the starters in a moment.
Introducing the starting lineups for this afternoon's game.
I'm Matt Macy Phelps. I'm working with Jake Hellman. It's just a 2-man crew again today with JumboCast. We hope you enjoy our broadcast of the game. And for the starters now, Luke Westman, the senior guard out of Newton, Mass. Westman is putting up 9.3 points per game. And there's Ryan Jan, the leading scorer so far for Colby, putting up over 16 points per game. There's Sam Wilson, senior forward, 88% free throw shooter on the year. And there's Chris Hudnut, the senior center. And Patrick Stewart, the senior, sat out all of last year with a back injury. So all seniors for Colby. They'll have to replace every one of them for next year, but this year they've got a very solid squad. They're off to a hot start, 10-2 on the year. Had been 10-1. And Tufts nationally ranked on D3Hoops.com. There's Tom Pileski. As you might have heard last night, he is the National Player of the Week in Division III. There's senior Ryan Spadford. also averaging in double figures.
From Hamilton, Massachusetts, number 11, Stephen Paladina.
Stephen Paladina, second leading scorer from last night's game for the Jumbos.
A 5'11" junior from the Bronx, New York, number 12, Tariq Smith.
And point guard Tariq Smith, he was left open in the corners last night from three. We'll see if Colby will give him those three-point shots. And then there's Vincent Pace, led the way last night in the scoring column. He was 5 of 6 from three. He was unconscious. He hit it when he was open, and he hit it when he was guarded. He also added quite a few buckets down low, creating space for himself in the paint. And really, Tufts averages last night 52% from the field. That number would have been higher, but some of the third-string players came on late in the game, but the starters put up quite the offensive display last night. We'll see if Colby can get some hands in the face and limit Tufts' shooting. So Hudnut and Pileski to tip. And in their first year in the NESCAC, back in the 2012-13 season, Pileski was actually the Rookie of the Year in the NESCAC. The year after that, Pileski had to sit out after surgery as Pileski wins the tip. But Hudnut managed to make second team All-NESCAC that year. Last year with the injury, Hudnut didn't make any of the teams, but Pileski made second team. So Pace drives in the lane, and it's tipped and rolls out. That was Stewart getting a hand to it, and Hudnut with the rebound. Stewart launches the three. It's good. Patrick Stewart.
Field goal, Patrick Stewart.
No, it's not the actor. It's the senior. Pace nearly traveled. He's trapped in the corner now. Manages to get it to Pileski. 12 on the shot clock. And Pileski working on Hudnut. Jumper's good. So really the matchup to watch is Pileski and Hudnut. Both 6'8". But from up here, it looks like Hudnut's got the height advantage. And shot, foul, no basket. That is Ryan Jan, the leading scorer for Colby, going to the line for two.
Fouls on number 2, Tom Pileski, his first on the team. Jan at the line.
And Pileski really needs to watch his fouls tonight. Tufts doesn't really have anyone else with the ability to guard Hudnut. Jan good on the first. Two for two. Pace and Pileski working together with the pick. Pace on the drive, lefty layup, no good. Solid defense from Stewart. And Stewart off the screen. Baseline jumper, no good. Pileski with the board. Haladinha. Layup, no good. It was rushed. And foul on the floor on Colby. Foul is on Jan.
Foul is on number 23, Ryan John. First foul, first on the team.
Spataford, top of the key. Three is good. Tied up.
Ryan Spataford.
Wilson. Jan now. Hudnut. Hook shot. Bounces around and out. Spataford comes away with the board. We go to Pileski in the post. He's fouled by Hudnut, so both centers with a foul apiece.
Foul is on number 42, Chris Hudnut. First foul, the second on the team.
Pileski from the free throw line. Jan off the screen. They get the mismatch, but Pace steals it on the pass into Hudnut. And Pace to the hoop, draws the foul in the basket. Vincent Pace over Patrick Stewart.
Foul on number 45, Patrick Stewart. That is his first, third on the team.
And Colby will call timeout as Tufts takes a 4-point lead, looking to make it 5. And with his performance last night, Pace increased his average on the year to 19 per game, which is good for second in the NESCAC, only behind Houseman of Bowdoin, who Tufts limited well, kept him under 20 points. And last year, these teams got to know each other pretty well. Tufts came away with the win, which was at Colby, by a score of 72-64. Leading the Jumbos was Ryan Spadaford, shooting 5 of 9 from 3 in that game. He had 17 points. Pileski followed him up with 14. Haladina and Smith put in 12 apiece. And on Colby's end, Ryan Jan really led the way, going 7 of 8 from the free throw line to put in 26 points on the game. Only other player in double figures in that game for Colby was Luke Westman. And they were pretty short-handed without both Stewart and Hudnut. And Pace completes the three-point play. Tufts up 10-5 here on an 8-0 run. Jan launches the three. It's good. Pace again driving. He likes that lane. Gets the tip in, and he's fouled on his way up. Pace again to the line.
Foul on number 45,
and that's Stewart, his second. Colby already up to 4 team fouls through 3.5 minutes. And Pat Dickert will come into the game. He replaces Stewart. And John Gallego, senior guard, comes in to replace Westman. Pace, good again. And off the screen, it's Dickert. Jan pulls up. Long two, no good. Spadaford with the board. Smith the other way. Haladina for 3. Off the screen. Wilson rejected by Pileski. Pileski gets it in the front court. Pace to the hoop. Colby with no answers on defense. 17 points in just 4.5 minutes for the Bows. We saw this last night. It buried Bowdoin early. Hudnut baseline jumper. Bounces out. Smith. Aldina thinks about it, drives, and he's swatted. Wilson with the rejection. Wilson left open for 3, and he's short on that. Pileski with the board. Spadaford pull up. It's good. Colby's got to consider calling a timeout here. Tufts again on a run. Their bench is feeling the energy. Jan trying to create, and he's fouled on the floor. Tariq Smith called for the foul. Engvall comes in for Spataford, who just hit the three. And Madsen comes in for Pileski. Michael Waganoff and Joe Connolly coming in for the Mules. As Jan and Wilson hit the bench. And Hudnut gets some space on Madsen. His shot's blocked. Looks like Engvall or Madsen might have tipped that. Smith pulls back, and that's short. Ball kill to Colby. So all of Colby's starters on the bench, except for Hudnut. Working on Madsen, and the lefty hook is good. So Tufts really missing Pileski's size right now to cover Hudnut. Engvall off the pick. Smith drives. It's a layup, and no good. He was strong on that. Certainly had the positioning on Gallego there. Gallego drives, and he's fouled going up by Pace.
Tufts foul, number 13, Vincent Pace, his first, the third on the team.
Third team foul. Gallego good on the first. Spataford back in, replaces Pace. And Stewart comes back in for Hudnut, so Stewart will be playing down low. Colby realizing that no one needs to guard Pileski at the moment. But Stewart's playing in foul trouble with two already. Gallego good on both. Colby with a little pressure here. Easily broken. And they go into a 2-3. Spataford shoots over the zone, no good. Stewart with the board. So Colby giving Tufts a different look with their defense. And a drive there, pull-up shot, rolls out, but there for the rebound and the rejection by Duvivier. That was Dickert pulling in the miss from Connolly. Gallego drives on Engvall, draws the foul. So Gallego doing everything on offense, the senior guard. And Pileski comes back in for Madsen.
Number 13, Pace replaces Tariq Smith.
And Pace comes in for Smith. Gallego good on the second. And he's subbed out for Westman.
Westman replaces number 1, John Gallego for Colby.
Pace off the pick, long two, no good. Spataford there for the board. He'll go to the free throw line. A little scrap down low on the rebound.
Foul on number 11, Michael Loganoff, his first, the 5th on the team.
Loganoff called for the foul. Spataford good on the first.
Number 12, Tony Karalikas enters the lineup for Colby.
And Tony Karolikas, sophomore forward, comes in, replacing Dickert. Spataford good on both. Tufts lead back to 9. And Tufts, looks like they're moving into a 2-3 themselves. Pace and Duvivier on the top. And no good from Donnelly. Tufts comes away with the rebound. That's Pace. Pushes it ahead to Spataford. Nice dish out to Engvall. And Pileski, top of the key. Open three is good. Incredible ball movement by the Jumbos. Colby now trying to crack the Tufts zone. Donnelly's three is no good. O'Connelly, excuse me. And a foul on the floor. Foul is on Westman. Jan and Hudnut back into the game, replacing Connolly and Loganoff. And they'll go back into man-to-man. And Pileski's fouled, so that's another foul on Hudnut. And that's what the Jumbo bench wanted.
Foul on number 42, Chris Hudnut, his second, the 7th on the team. Pileski in the line, 1 and 1.
Hudnut second. Tufts in the bonus now, 1-1 for Pileski. Good on the first, and if Hudnut picks up a third, Colby's in serious trouble. Hits them both. Tufts 27, Colby 13. Might be a little deja vu, but this Tufts offense is coming out like they did last night against Bowdoin. Back into a 2-3 zone. And baseline, good layup there from Westman. Got the bounce pass from Hudnut. And 3-second call on Tufts. Hudnut in the corner. Skip pass, stolen by Duvivier. Pace and isolation. Duvivier. Spataford fouled on the drive by Karolikas. And he'll go for 1-1.
Foul on number 12, Tony Karolikas, first foul, 8 on the team.
Gallego back into the game, replaces Karolikas. And Haladina coming in, as well as Everett Dayton coming in for the first time. Engvall and Duvivier to the bench. Spataford good on the front end. And he makes it 2. Tufts an excellent free throw shooting team. Just a shade below 80% on the year. Colby as well. Hudnut. Hook no good. Pileski gets the board. Pushing the pace is Dayton. Spataford open 3. It's good.
3-point field goal, Ryan Spataford from Dayton.
So Dayton picking up his first assist on the day, and Colby calls timeout. Tufts' lead is up to 17 points, and I'm afraid to say it is just like last night. 32-15. Tufts with 32 points through just half of the first period here. And it's three-pointers doing it again, as well as the free throw shooting for the Jumbos. A look at the huddle over there. And Tufts reserve players got in very early last night, even in the first half, with their blowout win. But overall, dominant performance last night, and we'll see if the Jumbos can keep it up today. But they're on pace to hit 100 yet again if they keep this scoring trend up. And Colby can ill afford to lose 2 games in a row in NESCAC play. So back on the floor for the Jumbos are Pace, Haladina, Dayton, Spatterford, and Pileski. Colby will come out with Jan, Hudnut, Westman, Gallego, and Wilson back into the game. Jan off the screen. Foul is called on Tufts.
Foul number 4, Everett Dayton, first foul, 5th on the team.
Everett Dayton called for the foul. Jan working on Haladina. Oh, and hits the fadeaway jumper.
Ryan John.
John, the leading scorer for Colby, with 7 now. Pileski. Double team. And Haladina called for the offensive foul.
Offensive foul number
He used the arm to push and create space.
First foul, 6th on the team.
Jan in the paint. Layup short. Pace drives on Gallego. Mismatch there. Layup no good. Gets his own board. Gets the bucket. Might have been fouled too. Pace now with 9 points. Tied with Pileski for Tufts. And Spatterford leads the way with 13 as Hudnut's rejected by Pileski. Spatterford, open 3. Can he make it? And it's Weston with the board. So Spatterford now 3 of 5 on the game from deep. Wilson fouled. Looks like on the floor.
Foul at number 3, Ryan Spatterford.
Nope, he'll go to the line for 2. Oh, it'll be 1-1 actually. So it was on the floor. The 7th team foul on Tufts. And the first on Spatterford. He'll go to the bench, replaced by Tariq Smith. And Wilson's good on the front end. Make it 2 for Wilson. And Pat Tickert back into the game replaces Luke Westman.
Replaces number 3, Luke Westman for the Mules.
Under 8 now. Tufts still with a 15-point lead. Dayton drives baseline, finds Smith wide open in the corner, and he burns his man and one. Tariq Smith with the up fake got Gallego to bite. And he'll go to the line to make it a 3-point play.
Foul on 42, Chris Hudnett, third foul, ninth on the team.
And Hudnett has picked up his third foul. Colby is in some trouble now. Smith makes it 3. Hudnett still in the game with 3 fouls now. Drives on Pileski. Foul is called. Looks like it was away from the shot. I think Haladinha called for the foul.
Foul is on number 11, Stephen Haladinha, the second.
Hudnett no good. Hudnett still sitting on just 2 points in this game and only 1 rebound. He makes the second. So Stewart replaces Hudnett.
Number 11, Michael Loganoff.
And Loganoff replaces Jan. And Pileski will be guarded by Stewart here. Can imagine Tufts will try to get it into the low post to him. And they quickly send a double. Pileski, turn around, baseline is good. And they'll take advantage of that all day with Hudnett on the bench. Colby just has to survive at this point, down 19. Hudnett in foul trouble. Shot from Stewart. The three's good.
3-point field goal, Patrick Stewart.
So Colby getting one back. Smith launches. That's well left. Air ball. Drive now from Dickert. Stewart passes up on the 3, drives instead. Shot in and out. Pace behind the back. Finds Smith open in the corner. Drives off the glass is good. Tariq Smith with 5 points now. Gallego guarded by Pace, drives. No good on the shot. Hit some contact there. Dayton in the paint. Kicks out to Pileski, open from the top. 3 rattles out. A drive from Loganoff layup, no good. Or excuse me, that's Dickert on the drive. And timeout, Tufts.
This is a 30-second timeout.
So 5 minutes remaining in the first, and Tufts are already out to 41 points. 18-point lead over Colby. We'll look at some of the team stats. Tufts 13 of 25 from the floor, including 5 of 9 from 3. 3 of those coming from Ryan Spadaford, who leads all scorers with 13 points. And a look at the rebounds. Tufts out rebounding Colby 17 to 12 at this point. Both teams with 3 offensive rebounds. And 3 blocks for this Jumbo's defense. I believe 2 are credited to Tom Pileski. Colby coming with some pressure. Gallego and Dickert. Engvall, Duvivier, and Madsen back into the game for the Bows. Colby going zone. 7 on the shot clock for Pace. He'll launch. Jan the other way. And kick. Stewart from the top of the key. Hits high off the back of the rim. Engvall. Engvall turns it over there. Oh, and a nice move by Gallego. A little hesitation move. Only 5'8", certainly the shortest player on the court. Pace turns it over to Stewart. So this Colby zone starting to force some turnovers. And Jan with a hard drive. Dickert, corner three, hits. Colby starting to march back into this 13-point deficit for the Mules. And Engvall nearly turning it over. Duvivier, three's no good, but Madsen there with the tip in. That was a little pretty play. Jan coming off the screen. Finds Dickert, rolling baseline. Great play by the Mules. Smith left open, passes up on it. Duvivier. And the three-pointers keep raining in for the Bows. This one for Stephane Duvivier. Those are his first points of the game. And drive by Dickert, reverse layup, will bounce out. Pace with the board. We're about to see some wholesale changes for both teams. And Smith with a great bounce pass and a hard foul from Jan. He got on top of Duvivier and hit the ground hard.
Foul on number 23, Ryan John. Second foul. The Mules are over the limit.
That's Jan's second. And Duvivier will go to the line. Both teams bringing in 4 players. For Tufts, it'll be Haladina, Spatterford, Pileski, and entering the game for the first time, Ethan Feldman, freshman guard. Duvivier good on the first. And for Colby, it'll be Hudnut, Wilson, Connolly, and Westman. And the PA announcer didn't want to go through 8 substitutions there, so he just said it was a couple wholesale substitutions as Duvivier misses the second. And really, what can you do if you're Colby with Hudnut in foul trouble, but Pileski on the floor? Jan goes into Hudnut. Shot no good. Rebound to Tufts. And now Feldman will come in for Duvivier. So a minute 40 remaining in the half. Tufts with a 17-point advantage. They go to Pileski in the post. And shot's good. Hudnut has to play Very tentative defense right now. And that'll allow Pileski to score. Jan pulls up top of the key, and he's fouled on the jump shot by Spatterford.
Foul number 3, Ryan Spatterford. First foul, the 9th on the team.
Pileski tying Spatterford
Down the line shooting 3.
at 13 points right now. Pileski 5 of 6 from the field. Jan good on the first. And we'll see Stewart come on, presumably for Hudnut, on the defensive possession. Nope, he will replace, yes, he will replace Hudnut.
Stewart returns to the lineup for Colby.
So Colby playing the old offense-defense possessions for their man in foul trouble. Jan makes them all. Colby into the 2-3. Trying somehow to guard Pileski. And they'll bring that zone in tight on him. 6 on the shot clock for Smith. Spatterford corner 3, hits it!
3 points by Spatterford from Haladina.
Drive from Jan, and he's called for the charge, drawn by Haladina. And Pileski's down on the court for Tufts. Slow to get up. He got caught up in there. Looks a little bit phased. But he gives the thumbs up to the bench. Seven-second difference between the shot and game clocks. Tufts will let it run. Haladina corner 3 is blocked by Jan. Colby with 12 seconds remaining to put a dent in this 19-point lead for Tufts. Jan guarded by Pileski, drives to the hoop. Layup, rolls in. So at halftime, we've got Tufts with yet again an impressive offensive performance, cracking the 50 mark. It'll be Tufts 52, Colby 35. Join us for the second half. And welcome back to Cousins Gymnasium. Tufts Jumbos leading the Colby Mules 52-35. We will start the second half momentarily. Colby will start with possession. Colby coming out with Patrick Stewart, Luke Westman, Ryan Jan, Sam Wilson, and Chris Hudnut. Hudnut with 3 fouls in the first half. Tufts taking advantage of his foul situation with Poleski down low. Tufts coming out with Ryan Spatterford, Vincent Pace, Tariq Smith, Stephen Haladina, and Tom Poleski. Hudnut, low post, hook shot is short. Pace with the rebound. And Pace gets it in. Poleski off the glass. Lefty hook is good. Hudnut. Jan, top of the key. 3 is good. Spatterford, and blocking foul on Hudnut. That's his 4th. That's not what Colby wanted.
Foul on number 42, Chris Hudnut, his 4th.
Really could have gone either way on that, but they'll call the block. And Hudnut and Stewart will hit the bench. Stewart hobbling, so Colby really lacking any size whatsoever. And I don't know how they're going to guard Poleski. And a foul on the floor there. Called on Loganoff.
Foul on number 11, Michael Loganoff, his second on the team.
So Loganoff put on Poleski, but it looks like it'll be Wilson who will be in the middle of probably a 2-3 zone here for Colby. Poleski, 18-footers, no good. Jan, rebound stolen by Smith. Spatterford kicks it. Smith calling for it there. Spatterford, 3 is no good. But Haladina there for the board. Puts it right in. Jan mistimed his jump on the rebound. Haladina fed off that miss. We'll go inside. Wilson. Jan, 3 over Haladina, goes!
3 points, Ryan John.
So 15-point game here. And Poleski gathers the ball. Skip pass over to Haladina. The 3 goes. Haladina answering Jan. So Ryan Jan leading the way for Colby with 18 points on the game. The only player in double figures for them. Loganoff pull-up jumper, no good. Pace, 12-footer is good. So Pace into double figures now with 11 points. And a shot from Dickert is well short. Pace goes into Poleski. He works on Wilson, off the glass, rolls out. Jan pulls up from way outside. Ryan Jan putting the Mules on his back. He's up to 21 on the game. He is 4 for 4 from 3. Smith left open. He's short. Jan's last three-pointer was easily from NBA distance. And the layup's good for Dickert. So back to a 15-point margin. Smith. And his three answers. Smith left open off the screen. Colby works it around to Jan. He'll drive. Deflected off Poleski. Dickert in the paint. Nice feed and finish from Westman. Poleski works his way in the paint, but he travels. Looked like he used a pivot foot, but goes the other way. So Stephon DeVivier and Ben Engvall into the game for Tufts. And in for Colby are John Gallego. And number 0, Miles Stevenson, making his game debut. Jan from 25 feet there. No good. And that'll go to Tufts. Jan really feeling the shooter's touch now. Little heat check there. Almost went in. Probably the longest shot we've seen all game. Pace working on Stevenson. Smith launches. And Smith with another steal. We'll go into Pace. Working on Stevenson, but turns it over again, so Pace finding no luck on offense. Jan the other way, hard to the hoop. Layup is too strong. Engvall with a 2-on-1 with Pace. And Pace off the glass. He considered dunking it, but wisely went for the layup. Tufts leading by 18. Stevenson in the paint. Finger roll, rolls off. Poleski the board. Poleski backs his way in. Foul called on the floor on Gallego.
Foul on number 1, John Gallego, is first foul.
Dayton replaces Engvall. And Stewart and Connolly come in for the Mules, replacing Jan and Wilson. Pace. Stepped out of bounds. So another turnover from Vincent Pace. Stewart. Stevenson on the switch, and he's fouled by DeVivier.
Foul is on number 20, Stephon DeVivier.
And Madsen will replace Poleski.
Replaces number 2, Tom Poleski for Tufts.
Stewart fouled by Madsen.
Foul on number 32, Drew Madsen. His first, second on the team.
Madsen and Stewart having a laugh at that foul call. Stevenson guarded by Pace in the paint. Layup no good. Pace has a chance for three. He'll take it, and he won't make it. Stewart fouled by Madsen again. Madsen second, team third.
Drew Madsen, second foul, third on the team. Thomas Lapham checks into the line replacing Vincent Pace.
Thomas Lapham making his game debut, replaces Pace.
Checks into the line for Colby,
And Dickert comes in
number 11,
to replace Loganoff. Hard drive by Stewart, rejected by Madsen, but he's called for a foul. So 3 consecutive fouls on Madsen on this end of the court.
Foul on number 32, Drew Madsen, second foul.
Might have got a clean block on that one.
Third foul on Madsen, fourth on the team.
Stewart good on the first. Makes it 2. Stewart's the only Maine native on the Colby roster. Smith drives, kicks to Lapham, puts up the 3 and hits. Thomas Lapham with his first points off the bench.
Lapham from Dayton.
Stewart down low. Rebound tipped around. It'll go to Dickert. He'll bring it out. And a little arm there, and he's called for the offensive foul. That's Joe Connolly.
Foul 31, Joe Connolly, first foul, fourth on the team. Number 3,
Spatterford replaces Smith.
Replaces Tariq Smith for Tufts.
Smith getting a big hand. It might be his last moment in the game. Comfortable 19-point lead for the Jumbos as Lapham goes to the hole. He's fouled by Galigo on the floor.
Foul on 1, John Galigo, his second, fifth on the team. Tom Poleski
15 foul. Poleski replaces Madsen. And John comes back in for Connolly. Duvivier with the drive. He's met there by Stewart. Jan the other way. And Jan traveled. .11 minutes remaining. Tufts still leading by 19. Spatterford, top of the key, 3, no good. Stewart finds an open Dickert, drives baseline, layup good. Dayton pull up, 18-footer, back rim. And Gallego gets the rebound. It's knocked around. Referees don't know who it's off of. And they'll give it to Colby. Seemed like the right call. And freshman Stephen Daly checking into the game for Colby, as well as Maximilian Steiner. We'll go with Max. So Steiner taking over the point. Jan drives. Shot no good. Rebound Dayton. Duvivier guarded by Daly. Shot blocked by Daly. Colby out in transition. It's Dickert. He'll go hard. The dunk no good. Foul called on Pileski. So Dickert with the elevation. And the sophomore will go to the line. That's why they pad the bottom of those baskets. He crashed into it hard.
Number 5, Pat Dickert at the line, shooting 2.
Who knew the 6'2 sophomore had those hops? Dickert good on the first. A 16-point game. And Haladinha replaces Duvivier. And Dickert knew he missed. He was going early, so violation called.
Timeout, Colby.
And Colby calls a timeout. And it's a full one. So Tufts 69, Colby 53, halfway through the second period here. A little shot at the fans here. Good turnout for another winter break game like we saw yesterday. Seems like all of Waterville, Maine made the trip down. Colby well represented in the crowd. And look at some of the stats. Ryan Jan leading all scorers with 21 points. The senior is 6 of 10 from the field. More importantly, he's 4 of 5 from 3 and 5 of 5 from the line. He adds 2 assists and a rebound. On the Tufts end, some of the guys picking up the rebounds, Pileski and Pace with 7 boards apiece, Haladinha with 6. And Tufts scorers, Spatterford with 16, Pileski with 15, and Pace with 13 so far. Haladinha and Smith adding 8. But both teams seemingly go into their benches here. A couple players who hadn't gotten in the first half, making it right now. Colby with the full court pressure. And Tufts breaks it quickly. They'll pull out though. And a 2-3 zone for the Mules. Actually, more just man for man. So Pileski's shot no good. Haladinha pulls in the offensive board. Thought he was fouled, but it'll be out of bounds off Colby. Laughlin with the inbound. And now they're in the 2-3. Laughlin pulls up. Dickert regains his handle. Steiner, 3 is no good. Spatterford with the board. Corner 3, Spatterford hits it. Spatterford on fire for the day, 19 points. And he's 5 of 8 from 3. Dickert with a nice fake. He goes in for the lefty layup. Gets it to go. 17-point advantage for the Jumbos. Haladina passes up the 3. Poleski down low, double teamed. Air ball. Jan pulls up, top of the key. 3 is well short. And Smith and Pace will come back in for Tufts, replacing Lapham and Dayton.
For Colby, number 0, Miles Stevenson.
And Miles Stevenson back into the game, replacing Pat Dickert. Poleski down low. Has it swiped away by Stewart. Tufts ball. Poleski working down low, gets an easy bucket off the spin move over Stewart. Daly in the high post. Jan with a hard drive off the glass, no good. Looked for the foul there. Smith called for the shove there, but had an impressive stop move that got him wide open from 3. Colby with a couple more changes. Stewart and Jan hitting the bench.
Weiner and Stephen Daly checking into the lineup for Colby.
Dean Weiner and Michael Waganoff coming in. Yeah, Daly turns it over. Haladina, 3's no good. Rebound Weiner. Weiner in the paint, rejected by Haladina, saves it in bounds. Tufts on the transition, the alley-oop, and the layup's no good, but the tip-in is good for Spatterford. Though Smith tried to find Pace there. Pace giving credit for the basket, but Spatterford put his hand up for it. And the 3 is no good from Steiner. Poleski. He'll go to the line.
Foul on number 13, Dean Weiner, his first foul, and he's 6th on the team.
Both teams at 6 fouls.
Number 1, John Delego, and number 5, Pat Dickert, return to the lineup.
Poleski makes them both. It might be me, but I thought I might have added that to the wrong team. A little scoreboard mishap there, but Poleski makes them both. And now they fix it. So Tufts up to 78. Colby at 55. And Loganoff back into the game now. 10-foot pull-up. Can't get it to go. Haladini with the board. Might have got a little knock on the head there. Pace down low. He'll go up with it. He'll draw the foul and one. Yeah, we'll look around the NESCAC. Hamilton leading Wesleyan currently. Wesleyan with a close loss last night to Middlebury. Hamilton up 21-16 right now in that one. Middlebury trailing Conn College 23-16. And Bowdoin currently leading Bates 27-18. Pace completes the three-point play. So we've got Tufts 81, Colby 55. Wayner's pass is intercepted. It's Pace. And he'll go for the layup and one again. Vincent Pace. Last night he hit the threes from beyond the arc. Today he's hitting the threes in the paint. And senior Zach Roswald coming off the bench for the Jumbos, replacing Poleski. And Pace completes another three-point play. So with those consecutive buckets for Pace, he's up to 19 on the game. Leading scorer for Tufts. And a long two there is no good, but Wayner with the rebound, he'll put it back in. Smith drives, kicks to Pace. Three-point shot is good.
3 points, Vincent Pace.
And Pace was at his average on the year at 19, but he just surpassed it at 22. So yet another 20-plus point game for Vincent Pace, the sophomore. Tufts up by 30. A great drive and a layup there from Gallego. Yeah, we got a timeout. And Tufts will empty the bench. Coming on are Digway, Preston, and Thomas McLean. So getting the rest of the sophomores and freshmen on the court. Pace, Poleski. Poleski was already on the bench. Pace, Smith, and Haladina hitting the bench. Foul called. And Digway called for the offensive foul. So Pace at 22, Spatterford at 21, Poleski at 19 for the Jumbos. Can't ask for much more from your three leading scorers. And Wayner down low, driving baseline. And that layup had nothing on it. And guarding the ball there. I'm not sure who's guarding the ball because number 32 is not listed in my roster. And a steal there from Preston. Turned over by Roswald on Preston's pass. Steiner with the oop pass. That's well off the mark for Dickert.
Jump ball, alternate possession, Tufts.
Feldman, open three, hits.
3 points, Ethan Feldman.
Tufts up to 90 points in this one. They made it past 100 last night. I don't think they'll get there tonight, but the Jumbo offense, one of the strongest in the nation right now in Division III. Steiner, no good on the long two. Daly in for the rebound. And Daly on the baseline, and he'll go to the line, fouled by Roswald.
Tufts foul, number 33, Zach Roswell. First foul, the 8th on the team. Daly at the line, shooting 2.
Daly makes the first. He makes them both. And a foul there from Wayner. So Preston will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Dean Wiener's second foul, 8th on the team.
And Preston hits. And Preston makes them both. So just over a minute now. Tufts leading by 31. Really making light work of two of the main teams.
1 minute, second half.
They'll have Bates later in the season. And Wayner's good on the drive.
Dean Wiener.
And Adigway gets doubled. And he'll turn it over. Daly down low, has it stolen by Preston. Daly gets it back, keeps it in bounds. The hook, no good, but that's Dickert there with the hops for the tip-in. Nearly dunked that one. And Jumbos will dribble this one out. So Jumbos upping their win streak now. Tufts with a final score of 92-65.
Jumbos return back to Cousins Gym for a Saturday, January 30th.
So an 8-game win streak for the Jumbos, including 2 straight conference wins in the NESCAC. After this, Tufts will go to Middlebury next Friday, where they'll play at 7 p.m. And they've got 5 straight road games, including that one. And they're not back here until January 30th when they host Bates to see if they can get the sweep of the main teams. So thank you for joining us here at Cousins Gymnasium. For Jake Hellman, I'm Matt Macy Phelps. Tufts 92, Colby 65.